How's it going, guys? This is Mike. What I have for you today is a little bit of information. Uh, it's what I'm talking about today is survival lip care. I know for a lot of macho guys out there, you hear lip care and all you can think of is that's a woman's subject. But really, it's not. It's a physiological subject. We all have lips. I will say we have all had torn up lips. We've all had extremely chapped lips at some point in our life. It is very aggravating. It hurts. And it's not just fighting through the pain. It can distract you from what you need to be focusing on. Maybe you're trying to look for tracks. Maybe you're trying to evade anyone in the area. Maybe you're trying to step lightly. Well, if all you can do is think of your lips getting ripped off, you're not focusing on that. So, put your man card on the table and let's talk about lip care. That's where I'm going with it. So, here's the physiological part of it, and this is how important it is. And another thing, you never know how many times you move your lips and your mouth until you have a big rip in the side of your mouth. Then you start counting, So it's time to not let it get to that point. If you have a tear in the integrity of your lips, that's not a good thing. You're more susceptible to getting sick. Skin is the immune system's first response. You have pathogens that try to get in your body all the time, in your food, in your water, and your skin keeps a lot of that stuff out from getting into your bloodstream. If you have a rip in your skin, that pathogen goes directly to your bloodstream, and there's a higher chance that you're going to get sick. So, because there's a lot of weaker pathogens that, as they travel through your mouth and saliva down into your upper digestive tract, your stomach destroys a lot of the weaker ones that could get you sick. They never make it to your lower intestines and start going into your bloodstream. But like I said, you bypass all that if you have a sore on your lip, if your lip's all ripped up. Those pathogens, those weaker pathogens that would have gotten destroyed by your stomach acids are now making it into your bloodstream and making you sick. So, as you can see, it's a human issue. It's not just a man or a woman issue. Your lips mean a lot in your line of defense of getting sick. And if you're in a survival situation, bug out situation, you don't want to be sick. It's the last thing you want to do. You're bedridden, you're getting dehydrated, everything else, and you're not getting done what you need to get done to protect you and your family or whoever's with you. Okay. First off, items you may have early on in a survival situation. You're talking about your Carmex and your other lip balms that you might use. Those are going to run out. But obviously that's what you use when you start off. Candles. If you have candles, there's a lot of oils, there's a lot of waxy residue on those candles. I mean, they're made out of wax. But you can basically take that candle, kind of wipe your finger on it, rip off a couple of little chunks, rub it around in your fingers, and you'll feel the waxy substance there. You wipe that on your lips. Also, another way to get it easier, the waxy residue, is to light the candle. And when the edges get soft and pliable, their wax is easier to come off. So, dry candle's a little bit harder. Oil. Some people keep oils like extra virgin olive oil or vegetable oil in their survival bags. I am one of those people. There's many uses. I'm not going to go through those right now because that's not the subject that I'm on. But that oil obviously can be used to wipe on your lips. Trail mix. A lot of people early on are going to have trail mix or nuts in general. The nuts inside of the trail mix are full of oils. But sadly they're full of salt too, and salt will wick away moisture and make your lips worse, so you have to wash the salt off of the nut. And then you crush the nut and you get the oils off of the nuts, and then you rub that on your lips. I didn't like that in the same sentence. Didn't sound real good, but I said it. Vaseline impregnated cotton balls in your fire kit. You know, dual purpose. They're there to start a fire, but you can also take one out and rub it across your lips. You can keep it in a little baggie or something in your pocket if you run out of everything else. And you have a nice amount of Vaseline right there to rub on your lips and keep them nice and healthy. But the biggest thing, I will say, I forgot to say it, but the biggest thing is that hurts your lips, obviously, is dehydration, the wind. Heat can cause some of it, but so does cold, so that's not really quite the factor. It's more of the wind and dehydration. So drink plenty of water. That'll keep you from drying your lips out. Also, not licking your lips all the time when it's windy out and allowing the wind to just keep drying them. They're just becoming brittle that way. You don't want to do it. It is a habit thing that's sometimes subconscious and you don't even realize you're doing it, but that is another one. And there's really nothing you can do about the wind other than keep your face covered up. So long term, once those other things are gone that you had in your pack, you're starting to talk about beeswax. If you find a bee's nest, which you probably won't, I mean, it's not like there's bees nests everywhere, at least not in my region, but if you're lucky enough to find a honeybee nest, definitely take care of the location. And at some point you can harvest honey, you can harvest beeswax, and there's other things you can harvest from that beehive itself. But you have almost an endless supply of wax at that point. So at that point you can make candles, but you can also take care of your lips. I will say, real quick, I'll tell you how you can make a lip balm out of the items that you may have early on. If you have a candle and you have oil of some sort, you can melt the candle and add some oil in there. Actually, you do it the other way around. You heat up the oil and dip the candle in until you get it to the consistency that you like, whether it's very waxy or more balmy. But that is a way to make a lip balm and not just wax or oil. You can have both of them on there and it helps twice as good. But once you get, if you're lucky enough to get beeswax and honey, you can add honey, beeswax, and animal fat together, and you can make a medicated lip balm. But that's long term, and that's on the rare chance that you're going to find a bee's nest. Okay, animal fat. Even squirrels got a little bit of fat on them. They got little pockets, and they usually stick right to the skin and get thrown out. You could take those little teeny pockets of fat, even off of that lean animal, and liquefy that, and then you can use that for your lips. and you can keep fat around for a while. It doesn't necessarily, it dries, and it doesn't, the outer layer dries, and it doesn't rot as quick as the meat does. So actually you can keep it around for quite a while, especially in the winter, obviously. But so liquefy it only when you need it. Don't just liquefy it now, because then you started adding in heat, and then the pathogens start getting into the oil itself. Nuts and seeds. You find some nuts, let's say some walnuts or whatever kind of nuts you have in your area, they are full of oil. You crush those down just like you would have the trail mix nuts, and you use that oil. Seeds, on the other hand, many of them, not all, but many of them have a lot of oil in them. Even grass seeds, a lot of seeds have oil, but you crush them down, make you a seed grinder. Maybe I'll make a video at some point on a seed grinder, natural seed grinder. But Eugene Runkus, he has videos on seed grinders. But you can actually take some of those seeds and grind them right in your hand. Some seeds you need to kind of toast them. Even some nuts, you got to toast them a little bit. And then the oils will really start to come out, and that's how you get those. And then lastly, there's a lip care source on your body at all times, and that is your face. You have facial oils. Some people do have dry skin, but for the majority of us, we have facial oils. And we're talking beside your nose. Unless you just took a bath, you will have these oils, and the longer you haven't had a bath, the more the oils come out. The more you're in the sun, the more these oils come out. But you're beside your nose. If you feel it right now, you will feel right here. There's oil there. You rub that on your lips. This is more of an emergency thing. It's not as good and potent as having a lot of oil from something and wax from something else, but it is there, especially if you're just out and you don't have anything. But you also, on the nose, beside the nose, the forehead on a lot of people is very oily. You get oils from the forehead. Behind the ears is oily and can be used on the lips to keep that wind from cracking your lips. But also put your finger in your ear canal, and not just the outer rim of the ear canal, and there's wax that that leaks out there, and that's probably one of the most potent of the wax sources. It's more of a wax than an oil, but that will also work. So those are just a couple thoughts. Once again, lip care is about your health. It's not primping. There's nothing like that. So in a survival situation, the smart man is willing to put his ego behind him a little bit and take care of himself, because you got to be there for yourself and your family. Okay, thank you.